Hey everyone, this is Sam with Bardos Builds, and in this video I'm going to take scrap pieces of live edge ash and hopefully turn them into a cool wall decoration. I started out by cutting down a piece of plywood to the size I wanted. I then took some black spray paint and did one coat on the plywood. I did this in case there were any gaps in the final product. I felt as though the black background would stand out a lot less than the color of the plywood. The size of the plywood was based off the amount of scrap pieces I had and how much space I thought they could cover. These pieces of ash were from a recent project I finished, and at the time, I couldn't bring myself to throw them away. I spent a lot of time trying to think of a cool way I could incorporate them into a project and really show off the beauty of each individual piece. Once all the pieces were cut down to the same size, I began laying them out on the plywood. I really spent a lot of time focusing on each piece individually, and once I was happy with the way the first layer looked, I began stacking them on top of each other to give depth to the piece. If I were to do this again, I would make sure to number them in a way where I could remember where each piece was. When I began gluing the pieces into their final spot, I found that I ended up just ignoring the dry layout and picking their spots as I went. If I labeled each piece in the beginning, I could have avoided winging it at the end. It still turned out okay, it's just something I would do a little differently next time. I began securing each piece in place by using some glue and brad nails. While I was doing this, I found starting at one side, going to the other side, and then focusing on the middle worked best for me. Once both sides were secured and in place, it made the middle pieces a lot easier to tackle. If you are to do this project yourself, just know during this layout time there is no wrong way to do it. Just layer the pieces to the point where it looks good to you and secure them in place. Whenever I begin a new project, I always try to think of where someone would hang it, if someone would use it, and ultimately, if someone would buy it. As a hobbyist woodworker, I don't typically take a lot of commissions, but I still enjoy selling the items I make. When I was thinking about where this piece might end up, the first thing that came to my mind was a nursery with neutral tones and wooden accents. I envisioned this piece above a baby's crib, bringing one of the most beautiful parts of Mother Nature to a baby's first years on this earth. The frame I made was made out of pallet wood. I didn't record too much of that process just because it's held together by just glue and brad nails. I wanted to stay consistent with the rustic feel of the piece and keep it simple. If you have made it this far into the video, I just want to say thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoy the final product. I hope to see you on the next one.